What's up, everybody? My name's David Jones, at Tenacious D Jones on Twitter, Tenacious D Jones on DraftKings. I'm here on the Pat Mayo Experience, talking to you about Thursday Night Football, the Showdown slate on DraftKings specifically. You are watching this on the Mayo Media Network. If you've already got it pulled up, why don't you hit the like button, smash that like button, as Pat likes to say, and subscribe. Do us all a solid. I'm going to be here with you every Thursday night, breaking down these showdown slates. And if you don't know me, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I won 8 of these things last year. I know how to do it. I get how to build showdown lineups, and I'm here to share that wealth of knowledge with you. Hope to see you tied up with me up top. Just listen to what I'm saying here. Make sure that your lineups are making sense. Make sure your players correlate well. Big mistake that people make in these is just trying to throw in players with the best averages, pushing the lineup out there and not taking a step back, taking a breath, and saying, okay, does this make sense? Do I have 3 wide receivers from one team and I don't have the quarterback? Am I playing a quarterback from one team and 2 running backs? That doesn't make much sense. The quarterback's going to be throwing to the wide receivers too. Do I have too many offensive players from one side of the ball when I have the opposing defense in the lineup? That's not going to make much sense either. But look, we're going to break it all down. This Thursday night, the primetime slate, we've got a couple primetime players. We got the Cleveland Browns going up against the Cincinnati Joe Burrows. We're all waiting to see what this kid's got. I think he's going to be pretty good. He was fantastic at LSU, some of the best passing and receiving and national championship winning I have seen in quite a while. And I'm an Alabama fan, so don't hate me for that, but love me for what I'm about to talk to you about with this showdown slate. Look, Joe Burrow, he's the number 1 price player on the slate. At the captain spot, he's expensive. He's $16,200. That's too much for me for a quarterback in his second game. I don't care if he's going against the Cleveland Browns. I don't want to do it. In fact, I don't want any quarterback at my captain spot for the most part. They're going to project to be the highest, but they're not always the highest priced players, especially with the way that DraftKings has this thing set up. It's a point per reception. So anyone who's catching passes gets a point for every time they catch it. The quarterback's not getting that point. Wide receivers and pass catching backs with a lot of volume and tight ends with a lot of volume typically are the guys that you want up in that captain spot. So going down the list, Joe Burrow, $16,200. Captain, no. Baker Mayfield, $15,300. No. AJ Green, $13,500. Thought about it against the Cleveland Browns, but highest prize player. Probably going to pivot off him because I want to build a more balanced lineup. Joe Mixon, the running back, going against the Cleveland Browns. Man, Joe Mixon probably going to have a good season. He's got a great matchup going against the Cleveland Browns, against the Los Angeles Chargers. He got 19 attempts, only 69 yards, targeted twice, 1 reception, finished with 7.1 points. Not going to happen every week. He's a good player, but I do think that I prefer, for the most part, Mixon in a flex because he doesn't catch enough passes for me. But Mixon, he definitely has touchdown potential. He has potential to get in there twice, quite frankly. If you want to play Joe Mixon at the captain, I'm not going to hate you for it. He's got high upside. Another guy that's got high upside that I am throwing into the captain spot is going to be Mr. Odell Beckham Jr. I can feel the collective sigh. I know that he did not have a good first game. I know that he's been down ever since he put on that Browns uniform. It doesn't seem like he's the same Odell Beckham Jr. when he was playing for the Giants. Maybe that's why they traded him. They saw it coming. I don't know. He's still a good player. He's still the wide receiver 1. Last week he got 10 targets. Now, he only came down with 3 of those targets. What is that because? Accuracy from the quarterback? Yeah, some of that. Going against a great defense and the Baltimore Ravens? Yeah, a lot of that. Hands? Not so much. He's still got great hands. Look, if he can get targeted anywhere close to 10 times again, I'm in on Odell Beckham Jr. And I especially like him in a primetime spot. We've all seen him. He steps up in the primetime, nationally televised games, narrative alert. But Odell Beckham Jr., catch 6 balls, give me 85 yards. He's going to be targeted in the red zone when they get down there. Him and Austin Hooper. I think that's actually pretty close. Baker Mayfield likes to target the tight end in the end zone. Odell Beckham Jr., I'm going to have some of him in the captain spot. Probably the highest upside on the slate for a wide receiver. Next captain I'm going to be looking at, going down the price list, I'm going to skip over Jarvis Landry. I'm going to skip over Nick Chubb, even though I do like Nick Chubb, and I do know that it's a great matchup for Nick Chubb. But I'm going to go to Kareem Hunt. I'm going to go to Kareem Hunt because he's basically splitting carries with Chubb. I think it was a little different in week 1 because the game got out of hand. Browns wanted to put in Hunt. They're going to put him in every game, but give Hunt a little bit more run because the game was so out of hand. But Hunt catches passes better than Nick Chubb. He got 3, I think, passes last week. I'd have to go back and look. I know it's more than Nick Chubb, but he's a guy that's going to get that point per reception too. He got 13 carries last week. Nick Chubb got 10. And he's only priced $300 cheaper at the captain spot. I like Kareem Hunt in the captain spot as well. Just below him, my third captain, Tyler Boyd. Maybe my favorite captain, with price included and matchup against the Cleveland Browns, being the wide receiver 2 against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns let Hollywood Brown run all over them, let Lamar Jackson pass all over them last week. Tyler Boyd, we've seen when A.J. Green goes out, he's very capable of being a wide receiver 1. A.J. Green could have left and he would have been their wide receiver 1, but he wanted to come back and play with Joe Burrow. Tyler Boyd, he got targeted, 5 targets last game. Not a lot, but he can get more here. I think he can do it. Don't you think he can do it? He can do it. He's a good wide receiver going against Cleveland. If he can get in the end zone, there you go. There's your captain for cheap. He does have the potential to get in twice. I'm not calling it. I'm not saying Tyler Boyd's going to go out and score touchdowns. I'm saying that the opportunity is going to be there against the Cleveland Browns. I like him a lot as my captain. I consider throwing Austin Hooper in at 10-2 right below him. If I have 10 teams, I might do that in one team. Austin Hooper team, David Njoku is out. He might get a few more looks. Njoku only got 3 last week, so not a huge bump at all. But Austin Hooper, we saw his potential with Matt Ryan last year. Baker Mayfield, no Matt Ryan, but he can get you there. He can get in the end zone. I mentioned it earlier. Baker Mayfield likes to target tight ends in the red zone. So let's start building a team. I'm going to throw Tyler Boyd in the captain. If I have Tyler Boyd in the captain, that means I think he has a huge game. If Tyler Boyd has a huge game, I'm going to have to think Joe Burrow has a big game, so I'm going to have to put Joe Burrow in a flex spot. I said I don't like him at captain. Doesn't mean I don't like him at flex. I like any quarterback essentially going against the Cleveland Browns. On DraftKings, if you want to throw 2 quarterbacks in your build, that's fine with me. I wouldn't have a defense if I did that. But Baker Mayfield, he's okay. Cincinnati Bengals are bad too, but he's not going to be on this build I have right now. Tyler Boyd, Joe Burrow, I'm going to throw Kareem Hunt in. And someone I skipped over at captain too is Joe Mixon. Look, obviously great matchup for Joe Mixon against the Cleveland Browns. Lamar Jackson ran all over him. Ingram had a good game. Dobbins had a good game. Joe Mixon, he's going to be solid. He's not going to kill your team. You're not going to look back and say, I wish I didn't play Joe Mixon. I don't think in this spot he's got one of the better matchups on the slate. We've got to find some cheap guys now. The build's actually coming together pretty good, $6,350 left per position. If I'm looking for a bargain, there's a couple guys that I'm going to look at. This is not saying I think they're going to be the highest scoring on the slate. I'm saying compared to their price, I think it's a pretty good match for them, a pretty good price, a pretty good spot. So, Geo Bernard. We remember Geo Bernard. He's coming in behind Mixon. He is a good salary saver for $3,000 because he catches passes. But I don't want him on the same team as my Joe Mixon team. So if I don't have Joe Mixon on my team, I'm going to look heavily at Geo Bernard at $3,000. He's cheap. If I just need a pure punt, I think I'm going to take the wide receiver that only costs $400, played 55% of the snaps last game, and starts. That's going to be Daryl Hodge. He is only $400. I'm typing it in, seeing what it does for us. I need him to catch 2 passes and get 25 yards. If he gets more than that, that's great. But he's $400. That's going to pay off. It should pay off. I mean, he got targeted last game. He's going to be in the game. Daryl Hodge. I don't think many people are going to be on him. If you threw Hodge in there, you've got $12,000. You can get anyone left on the slate. You don't have to get Hodge. But if you're stuffing in all the studs up top, your OBJs, your AJ Greens, your Nick Chubbs, your Austin Hoopers, and you need someone to save some money, Daryl Hodge is there. In the last spot, I'm either going to put Hooper, I'm going to put Beckham, who I told you I was high on. I would lean Beckham over Hooper. And then let's see, that's going to give me 3 pass catchers if I went with Hodge. On the Cleveland Browns, might be too many. I can take Hodge out, see what I have left, and shove someone else in there. Because I mentioned earlier, you don't want to have 3 pass catchers from the same team without having the quarterback. It doesn't make much sense. So you have to think like that. Build your lineup, take a step back, make sure it makes sense. I do have Joe Burrow in this lineup, so I probably need to get another Cincinnati Bengals pass catcher Or I can put in the kicker from the Cleveland Browns, or I can put in the kicker from the Cincinnati Bengals. As far as the defenses go, look, it's a low-scoring game. Vegas predicts at 43. The Cleveland Browns are 6-point favorites. I don't think they cover that. I think the Bengals have just as good a shot here to win as the Cleveland Browns, quite frankly. So I would probably take the +6. But look, find your last spot. See who do you like? Who do you like? Which kicker do you like? Which defense do you like? We have 2 Cleveland Browns. We could put the Bengals defense in there. Sure, that wouldn't hurt. But that's it, guys. That's what I got. Those are my plays. Tyler Boyd at the captain spot I like a lot. Odell Beckham Jr. at the captain spot I like. Kareem Hunt at the captain spot I like. Thought about Austin Hooper. I'll have 1 of 10. Remember, guys, like this video. Subscribe to the Mayo Media Network. Come follow me on Twitter at TenaciousDJones. Come read my content over at FTN Daily. Come follow my bets over at FTN Bets. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will be with you every Thursday night for the rest of the NFL season. Enjoy. Thanks a lot.